we paint on the walls of our existence, the reflections of our being. My friend Claudia Dose, who teaches an intuitive art class, has this quote written on her website and on her emails, and I've seen it for years. But the other day when she taught a particular class, I'm going to share with you an insight I got that was extremely beautiful and practical. So she had us close our eyes and in a meditation and just let whatever colors appear, to let them appear. And then open our eyes and look around and notice any details. And then close our eyes again and notice any colors. And then open our eyes again. And then we were to color on a piece of paper inside of a circle the colors that we saw. And then inside of a square, we were to paint or scribble the things that we saw on the outside. Well, one of the things that happened that was really profound was when I closed my eyes, I saw blues and pinks and maybe some purples. That's what appeared, and maybe some yellow. It was a few days ago. And when I opened my eyes, that's what my eyes were drawn to. So in some psychologies, I think they call this the reticular activating system. You know, what you notice on the inside, you're going to notice on the outside, and it's going to become a self-perpetuating cycle. And I found it fascinating. I was noticing all the blues and the pinks and the yellows in the room around me. And that's what became the elephant that I painted and I shared on a previous post. And okay, what I took away from this that I want you to be able to activate in your own life is I thought, wow, when I'm going into deep meditation and I'm experiencing beautiful feelings of love, infinite feelings of well-being, when I say the following words to myself or to other people that make me smile, Isness, Nothingness, and Allness. I don't know why those words make me smile so much. Isness is the form that's created on the outside. Nothingness is the formless. It's where all form comes from. And allness, everythingness, allness, is the combination of the form and the formless. It's like an infinite infinity experience. Well, if I dip into those felt sensations of happiness and joy for no reason. Babies, by the way, have joy for no reason. They only cry when there's a problem. Most adults have it the opposite. I'll leave you to figure that out. But we're meant to be just feeling good and then making decisions from that place. But we get covered up with, thoughts that we end up believing, and it's the believing them that causes us the trauma and drama. And that's why, I like sharing, step back, they're just thoughts, step back, they're just thoughts. But beyond stepping back, they're just thoughts. We can dip into the well of magical feelings that live inside of us all the time. We can dip into that well with our eyes closed, and then we open our eyes, and then we see more magic around us. And then we close our eyes again, and we feel something of infinite possibility, even just the slightest taste of it, because it's who we are. And then we open our eyes, and we see more possibilities around us. And I believe that that is the magic making of the universe through us, as us, in us, the form and the formless. I want to share one more thing with you that's coming to me about joy-based living. I know I've shared about Vulture Culture, and that's where we're cleaning up. We're cleaning up cultural conditioning, and we're also in Vulture Culture level, we kind of need to feel seen. Like when someone's been in a lot of pain, they just need to share their story. Sometimes you just need to share it and have somebody believe you and go, it's okay. And if you ever saw that video that I love repeating, it's a the still face experiment. And it's where they show this little infant who's like maybe 6 months old or something. And his mom goes from like goo goo gaga with the infant to like giving him a still face. And the kid goes from like confused to trying to get her attention to full out crying. And then the person behind the camera is like, okay, you can give him back your reflection face. Oh yeah, hi. And then he starts smiling again immediately. And when I first saw that video, I was like, that's not just for babies. That's for adults. It's for elderly people. It's for everyone. We all need to feel seen. And so on the Vulture Culture level, we're feeling seen and we're offering each other reflections from the emotional standpoint. Now, we don't want to stay there because who we really are is not our emotions. But, when gaslighting happens or smear campaigns happen, those things are invisible, but they can be deadly because they can cause us, if we are not well equipped, they can cause us to believe things about ourselves that are very limiting and very cruel. And then the abuse gets perpetuated in our minds. And so like in the Oprah Winfrey interview with Dr. Perry, I think his name is, the name of their book together was called What Happened to You? So to have like a doctor ask you what happened to you if you're having a physical symptom. So much of what goes on inside of us that's imbalanced is coming from unexpressed, unhealed, ungrieved, unresolved trauma. And so Vulture Culture, we're just cleaning it up. We're cleaning up. Let the dead bury the dead, right? Let the dead bury the dead. I love that statement, that quote. So then we have level 2. Level 2, let's talk about reflections and validations at level 2. Level 2 is homing pigeons. And homing pigeons, we're finding our way home to that infinite spaciousness inside of ourselves. And at the homing pigeon level, we're experiencing brain and heart coherence. And it's one thing to do it by yourself, but it's another thing to do it with other people. Because then when we're experiencing brain and heart coherence and we're experiencing our own spaciousness and we do it together, the collective energy that gives life to life is really profound and magical and big and beautiful. And so that's how we join collectively at the homing pigeon level or the messenger pigeon level. There are parts of us that just know what home feels like, and it's here and it's right now. And I believe a lot of the trauma and drama that's going on in the world is activating these awarenesses in millions and millions of us. And so then how do we relate collectively to this experience that is wordless and timeless and infinite? Well, we're having to refine the words. We're having to find our way back home together. And so then that's where level 3 is hummingbirds in flight. And so the other day I was in my wholehearted networking meeting. I have this meeting with women on Wednesday evenings, and oh my gosh, there's a saying in the world of tracking animals to take photographs of them and hopefully not shoot them. But there's people who are trackers. They have this saying. I got this from Boyd Varty, who's a tracker in South Africa, whose company is all about, his family's company is all about preserving the earth and preserving animals and nature. It's so beautiful. And he says about his business, about his life, and about tracking, step by step, tracking a rhinoceros or a lion. I don't know where we're going, but I'm going to know it when we get there. I don't know where we're going, but I'm going to know it when we get there. And so this past Wednesday, we got there. I've been leading joy-based living since 2016, and I've been like feeling that feeling of, no, we're not there yet. We're not there. We landed on Wednesday. And this is something that anybody can do. I do not have an open invitation to Wednesday night meetings. I might not ever, I'm not sure. So this is not a pitch for that. This is to let you know, this is what I want you to activate in you, because I think you want to if you're listening to this message. And that is, we activated inner wisdom. Somebody had spoken a statement about truth and about this voice that came to her was like, and said, well, when are you going to trust me? And it was a voice that came from calm. And I don't know that I'm quoting it exactly right, but it doesn't matter, because what happened was we all ended up sharing stories of moments when we just simply like, we had an experience where, like, when I first moved up here to this mountain, the mountain spoke to me when I was in my car. I don't know that I've shared this publicly on a video before, but the mountain said to me, "You're home, welcome home." And I was like, are you kidding me? This is like way down out in the country. And, you know, I'm like a city girl, like New York, Miami, Tampa. And the voice said it again. I was in the car with my dog driving up this mountain, and it said, "You're home, welcome home." And I felt a peace come to me. I also felt that peace the first time I ever went to a Course in Miracles group. So this peace that came over me. So someone started sharing a story about how she experienced this peace when, you know, she had a family member who was in the hospital and might not make it. And her mom came to her in a vision before she was going to sleep. And her mom said to her, "It's all going to be okay." Her mom had passed on. She said, "It's all going to be okay." And then another woman explained something, and she said, "I had an experience, but there weren't any words to it." And I don't want to share her experience. It was beautiful. It was just majestic and beautiful. And it was a communion with nature. And she just felt like, and as each person was speaking, you could feel the ripple in the room. It wasn't just somebody sharing words of wisdom. It was truth from each person, beyond logic, beyond thought, beyond the intellect. It was like a holy, sacred place. And rather than just being individuals about it and having our own individual stories that we would share with people, maybe one-on-one at different times, we were having a collective embodied experience. And so that's what I call hummingbirds in flight. And so we're sharing deeper wisdom from a truer place. Now, hummingbirds in flight could have vulture culture moments and can have homing pigeon moments. I don't believe any of us are like 100% enlightened or anything like that, but we have moments of wisdom, and sharing it with each other makes us feel more at home in the world. And so then I'll end with this story because it was so cool. So I was telling one of my friends about this happening on Wednesday evening, and she's part of our collective group, but she wasn't there on Wednesday. And I was telling her all about it, and she was, and I kept saying, "The eagle has landed, the eagle has landed." So then it was like another bird metaphor coming in. And I, you know, she's been supporting Joy-Based Living. In fact, the first $20 bill from Joy-Based Living that I received was from her, and I've had it like hanging in my office for 8 years, since 9 years, since 2016. And so that day we were going to buy a mailbox for me. And I wasn't looking at the brand or anything like that. We're just looking at sizes and styles. And we got it back to her house, and she's like, "Debbie, there's an eagle on the cover." On the front of it, there's an eagle. And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's going to be a magical mailbox. And to send really cool things out of it and receive really cool things in it." And so then she's like, "Deb, you have to see this movie called Fly Me to the Moon." And so I had just stopped my Apple account because I'd gotten my fill of it from Ted Lasso and Shrinking and other shows, Lessons in Chemistry, really good shows. And so I go to see the movie, and it's like, "Oh, it's on your app, it's on Apple." So I'm like, all right. So I go back into getting a thing with Apple, a subscription with Apple, and I go to watch Fly Me to the Moon, and so there's this one scene, and they're like, "The eagle has landed." And so I just feel like Joy-Based Living is just beginning. And it is meant to be a collective energy of people who are sharing wisdom, strength, truth, and who are also equipped to release unhealthy cultural conditioning, and also to hold space on an emotional level for people's stories to the degree that we're each able to. We're only able to the degree that we can do for ourselves. So if someone can't experience extreme sadness, they're not probably going to be a good person to go to if you're experiencing extreme sadness. If you want to just have it be listened to in a neutral and healing way. And so experiencing home and the aliveness of feeling home inside of yourself, experiencing what it's like to be with others, and collectively giving life to life. And then hummingbirds in flight, sharing wisdom with each other. And that's what we're doing at Joy-Based Living. If you want to join this conversation at a deeper level, please join me at Patreon. I want as many super fans as possible who want to connect with these kinds of messages and who want to connect with other people with these kinds of messages. And what I'm going to be sharing at Patreon more and more is more experiential things, like how to create your own ceremony in an everyday kind of a way. And because our bodies know what to do, but who do we talk about it with? Where do we get collective energy for such things? And I want more of that for more of us. So if you're still here, I hope you'll join me at Patreon. You can join for free or as a paid member, and I appreciate anybody who is in this work, because this is a daily inner workout, and I want more and more people around me who are doing this kind of inner work. It's a joy. Many blessings and so much love to you and everything you're working on and everybody that you love. Bye for now.